Sometimes I just sit here and think, what am I doing with my life? Well, maybe if you stood there, you'd realize. Oh, ha ha ha, real funny, wise guy. Don't try to dunk on him. You're both on the same website for the same bad reason. Hi again, guys, and today I'm revisiting a favorite topic of text post readers like myself, looking at comments from people who are experiencing some real clarity after they've worked one out. Because I want this video to make money, it's going to be filled with lots of words that are replacements for other words. The site in question will only be referred to as the hub, because you all know what that means already. I will not say corn, but with the C replaced with an upside down lowercase b a single time this video. Watch me. I'm a magician. I'll make it happen. If you enjoy this video, this card at the end will take you to when we looked at Rule 34 comments, also incredibly odd, and only 20% of y'all are subscribed with notifications on. You should be one of them, so you'll never miss an upload, and you can always undo it later. My man with one hand behind his back like he's Count Dooku. Hey, that's dope as hell. Rest in peace, Christopher Lee. This is probably the weirdest place his name has ever been commemorated. I would like to imagine the guy going to town with his hand behind his back like Dooku also holds his saber like Dooku holds his saber. And that wordplay worked out. Listen, man, real life doesn't come with aim assist. You gotta guide it in sometime. I should really be doing my taxes right now. That's right, you should be. I'm gonna use this opportunity to give some free game to those of y'all in the audience doing your taxes for the first time. One, start in January or even earlier. Get your affairs in order. If you hire an accountant, you're gonna want to do that earlier in the year. They're gonna be very busy with people trying to book last minute requests really close to tax day. So get ahead of the rush and be on top of it. And while you're at it, if things go well with them, see if you can set up quarterly payments when doing for taxes in 2024. That way you're not scrambling last minute at the end of the year to get it all together. And whatever you do, don't skip it. We joke about tax fraud a lot on this channel, but they are all jokes. I would never actually do that, and I'm not kidding. Unlike many of the crimes I definitely didn't commit, this one I just didn't do because it's not worth the risk. Famously, not even the Joker messes with the IRS because unlike Batman, the US government will kill you. We did not make these characters for this. Please stop. I don't listen to normal Nintendo much. You think I'm gonna listen to the UK branch? British people. I'm sure it's happened, but it feels like you hear about Nintendo cracking down on fan games and community tournaments more than you ever do about them cracking down on characters being put into adult situations. In fact, I can't think of one off the top of my head. That being said, if you were an artist who makes stuff like that and Nintendo sent a cease and desist, you probably wouldn't want to fight it too loudly or too proudly. And inversely, if Nintendo did send a cease and desist, that would give confirmation that they have employees dedicated to looking for some freaky shit. Probably not something they want said out loud either. Hey, I used to date this girl. Lol. William? Dude, imagine getting name checked in a hub comment section. If that's real, and this guy's name is real, why would you ever put this in your username on that website? Digital footprint, man. Now streaming everywhere. Great album cover art, am I right? Underrated video. Bro, it has like 15 million views. What on earth are you talking about? Damn, 15 million? My most viewed video on this website, the OnlyFans review, only has 7 million. It seems like if I want to be like a real cultural force, all the eyes are on a different video streaming website. You know, just as an interest check, some of y'all are gay or like man-ass, right? White OnlyFans? It's been requested before is all I'm saying. Am I joking? Depends on how you guys react. You decide. Intercourse is for weaklings. Show us gameplay. I mean, it's a bit harsh. Maybe punches down on sex havers a bit more than necessary, but can you really blame a gamer? We've been misled by pre-rendered cutscenes that make a game look better than it actually is time and time again. Hell, sometimes they make the cinematic look like gameplay to trick us even more directly. All we're asking for is some transparency. Excellent work. What an adorable little story. And I admire your use of other sound effects such as rain and footsteps. Your little details truly put your work in another league. You know, I've been saying, many adult films seem like they really only care about the adult part and not the filmmaking aspect. Scorsese directed Gangbang. When was the last time you saw one with interesting shot composition or carefully crafted cinematography? Every video looks the same, washed out in gray like Marvel movies. I'm just saying, there are multi-100,000 word epics written on AO3 that may have smut in them, but are surrounded by some of the best plot work and world building I've ever read. But even then, the butt stuff that is there is still feasible material to finish to. In fact, it's even heightened by the emotional connection you have with these characters. Certainly there's room for this niche in the much more popular medium of film. Being a man is so hard. No makeup, no lashes. If you're ugly, you're just ugly. Says who? Only thing stopping you from doing all this stuff is your own fear of being judged. The truth is, if you pick up these skills that all the other fellas aren't specking into, you've got a leg up on the meta and you'll be ahead of the curve. Put on some makeup. Contour the shape of your face. Do spot treatment for acne. Get some fake lashes, man. I know I want to. In fact, I might make that appointment right now. Nothing is actually stopping you except maybe going broke. That looks just like my bathtub. Wait a minute. Man, I don't know where you usually get busy while watching those videos, but if it's not in your tub, it might be worth shining a black light on that thing. Just check if anyone else has been doing some adult recreation on it. Maybe also check for cameras around the house, because if folks have been shooting in your place frequently, they might keep some of the filming equipment hidden so they don't have to bring it back and forth with them. Does anyone have tips on fighting the Wither boss in Minecraft Java Edition? Thank you. Honestly, man, my best advice is just to give up. Instead, maybe you go to college, get a job, start a family, retire, die, go into rigor mortis, get buried and decompose. All of that is less effort than what it's gonna take to beat the Wither. I have never pulled it off in my life, and I know some of y'all are just gonna call me trash at the game, which that's true, but I'm sorry. I'm not like a 2v2T player. I do not have time to sweat this out. I don't have the time, dedication, or the will to repurpose the power of the Wither to a tool I can use against other people. I'm trying to speak from the perspective of the everyman. Give up, bro. Why is there music? I'm trying to bust a nut, not bust a move. What you should do is bust open a tub of gamer subs. Code Kwite for 10% off any purchase on that website. My link is in the description. They put hot women with tits and ass on the side of their shaker cup, so you could probably get off to these pictures if that helps convince you to buy them. Really great video, but can you please refrain from dropping F-bombs? It makes it hard to watch with the whole family. This is a comment I unironically get from both parents and people who live with their parents. Whenever I'm streaming, there's always one chatter who's like, please don't talk about weird stuff or swear. I'm in the living room with my mom and you're on the TV. At which point I start swearing up a storm that would make any sailor proud to hear, but not so much to sail into. And to parents in the comments of my video, first off, what are you doing here? You can stay. I just didn't think there'd be so many of you. Something I've been made aware of recently. And also, just cover your kids' ears. We are not family friendly here. I don't think I'd want my wife to watch. It's bad enough she's always telling me how to drive. Oh man, that just feels like a Peter at his lowest. I'm not very surprised by seeing it generally, but rather the consistency at which you can find someone who's like, ugh, I hate my wife, no matter where you go. If it's a public forum where anybody can speak, you will always find a guy talking about his marriage that you're not sure if he was ever happy being in. I guess the hub makes as much sense to see that kind of thing as any other place. In fact, it probably makes the most sense to see it there, honestly. I'm not even horny. I just jerk the chicken to numb my problem, but then I just always end up feeling worse. Everything seems so pointless these days. I really sympathize with how you feel, man. This depression and malaise has followed me my whole life, and the words you spoke, I really saw in myself. That being said, I still gotta dunk on you. That Drake profile picture you got on really brings this whole thing together. I now have a complete profile in my head of the type of life you lead and what kind of person you are. I love prejudging people based off of superficial characteristics. I just told my crush I liked her. I think she likes me too, and she hasn't read the message yet, and I'm waiting, and I'm so anxious. I don't know what to do. I don't want to pound the salami. I don't want to sleep. This was the only platform I felt comfortable publicly speaking on this. I don't know how old this post is, so I'm rooting for my guy here that everything worked out for him, or hoping that it did. And I've questioned in the past why you would ever make an account on a site like the Hub, but honestly, the way this dude is using it, I can get behind. That get behind pun was unintentional, but a happy accident. Much like me, according to my parents. But get this. Let's say you want to create a sort of public thought journal or diary that other people can see, but you still put personal stuff on, and they don't really know it's you. A lot of folk would say just make a private Twitter, but I'm not trying to tell my friends some of the shit I want to post. I want it to be anonymous, but I also don't want to lose track of everything I've said over the years. Enter the Hub. A perfect place to act as a hub for your thoughts. Catalog them, get feedback from strangers who can't judge you too harshly, like they're on the same damn site you are. And if someone you know in real life finds it and makes the connection that it's you, what are they gonna do? Out you? Then they have to answer the question of what they were doing on that site. Mutually assured destruction. Almost all your bases are covered with this method. He looks like John Wick from Fortnite. John Wick is a movie, you moron. Yeah, well, he's also from Fortnite, wise guy. In fact, there are multiple of him. You've got Scuffed John Wick from season 1. If you saw someone with this on OG Fortnite in like 2018, you knew you were gonna die. There's actual officially licensed John Wick that has Keanu's likeness from the official partnership. And lastly, you also got Alan Wake, who is not John Wick, but he looks enough like him that putting him here is kind of funny. I couldn't even jingle to this. I caroled immediately. Gift wrap on aisle, my presents. This is probably the most Christmas-related thing I'm gonna do this whole holiday season. I am just checking off the end-of-year boxes in this video. Conveniently, making the original cleanup on aisle my pants copy pasta into Mary posting makes it safer to include in this video if I still want to make money off of it. Guys, I need help. In Kingdom Hearts 1, I'm stuck with the final boss. I don't know how to beat the second phase. Remember, as with most bosses in Kingdom Hearts 1, the immunity frames from Strike Raid can be a godsend. We've been getting a lot of tutorials on how to beat certain parts of games while we've been here. I think people have probably gotten more genuinely helpful advice on how to beat a certain level or boss on the Hub than even game facts. You just have to find a video about the game that you need help with, and you'll definitely find seasoned veterans of those series in the comment section. That's probably why they want to beat it to specific characters so much. They are the perfect people for the job. He has a Rise of Skywalker shirt on. He's also the first guy to ever get laid in one of those. So that one specifically, other people have definitely fucked in other Star Wars movie shirts. In fact, a fun creative creative writing exercise I do is when I'm reading these comments with no context, I try to figure out what was happening in the video those comments were left on. Like I said, all the ones asking for advice on certain games were probably on a video with characters from those games in it. And for this one, I'm assuming it was supposed to be a sort of fantasy about a nerd managing to score, that kind of thing. The Rise of Skywalker shirt was probably the worst Star Wars movie to pick for that, though. No matter how you feel about the sequels as a whole, that movie literally left no one satisfied. All the other ones at least have fans. It's incredibly segmented ones, and you could have made an argument for someone going to Pound Town because they liked a movie and found someone else that did too. Not Rise of Skywalker, though. There was really great stuff put to adult film in these videos that these other comments were left on, and this one just kind of soured the whole thing for me. That's all I got for today. That card I mentioned should be on screen. Be sure to subscribe with notifications on. Anyways, this has been Kwite, and I'm literally Batman.